how does this help us, meaning this deal, but get us back to those levels?
Yeah, I think what's happening around the cannabis stocks is that there was a lot of hype around the stocks early on about what they could produce. What you're seeing out of Canopy now, however, is we're actually able to deliver on some of the promises. And this BioSteel example is just one way that we're trying to do that, to, as Aditi mentioned, build that infrastructure where we can bring really good, high-performing brands to the market like BioSteel. We can add CBD into those brands as federal regulatory guidelines shift. And of course, the real win here is to be able to use this channel to bring THC drinks to the market as soon as federally permissible.
And tell me about how big a market you foresee this being, because I think that's a question for everybody is, just how much demand is there going to be for these products?
Yeah, I think there are two ways to look at it. So if you look at our business in Canada, we've had drinks in the market for about 6 months. During that 6-month period of time, we have about a 70% share of the Canadian market, and we've shipped about 2 million drinks. Compare that to the entire U.S. market in 2019, which shipped 4 million drinks across the entire country for the entirety of the year. I think what we're seeing in Canada is we have outstanding products, and we're using those products to begin to recruit new consumers into the space who aren't going to enter the space by taking up vaping or smoking, but they might enter it through a drink. And these drinks perform better than hard seltzers. And we know what a phenomenon that's been in the U.S. over the past few years. These are drinks that have 0 calories. They can taste better than hard seltzer. They have an onset time of about 7 to 10 minutes. An effect of one drink is about equivalent to 1 glass of beer, and there's no hangover.
David, Aditi Roy here. It seems that you really need to have the U.S. legal and regulatory landscape in your favor in order to really get the most out of this deal. Canopy Growth has spent about $150,000 on lobbying U.S. lawmakers this year alone. What are you hoping to accomplish with those funds?
Yeah, well, first of all, we want to see U.S. permissibility happen because, as you know, Aditi, as soon as we get U.S. permissibility, our arrangement with Acreage kicks in, where Canopy will own 70% of Acreage, which is a U.S. multi-state operator. And so that's step one, and we want to bring our brands and our intellectual property into the U.S. market, backed by our balance sheet, which has $2 billion worth of cash on it. That's step one. We think over time, making sure that the federal regulatory environment is permissive enough to allow cannabis to look a bit more like the alcohol industry will be a big win all around for the consumers, for the government from an excise tax revenue standpoint, and clearly from Canopy's perspective.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.